Hi everyone, welcome to Cooking Etiquette. My name is Chef P, and today we are making steak au poivre. So it is basically a pepper steak. The translation in English is pepper steak. So we're going to make a beautiful steak with a delicious mushroom cream sauce, and dare I say it, we're going to make it with under $10 in our budget. All right, so stick with me. It's gonna be delicious. We're making steak au poivre. All right, first let's talk about the steak. This is our beef round bottom steak, and I actually got it for $4.19 a pound. So this is about a pound and a quarter. This two steaks comes out to be about a pound and a quarter in weight, and let's just say our steak is $5. Okay. So about our steak, this has a nice bit of marbling to it and has like a nice fat cap right here, so it's going to be great for searing. If you like, you can use a different type of steak. Now I would use maybe a ribeye, a New York strip, my favorite, or a sirloin would even do, but meat is kind of scarce nowadays and it's coming up pretty expensive, so we want to make sure that it's affordable and we can have our steak and eat it too. Okay, and I've got a non-stick pan over here. I'm gonna just turn up the heat a little bit because I want my pan to be screaming hot. Once it's ready to go on, I got a little bit of oil that I'm gonna add to it. And let's start with seasoning our meat. So I've got some Himalayan pink salt and some black pepper. These are the main two ingredients that we're gonna use for our steak. Make sure that we give the whole side a heavy amount of sea salt. Now this one's a mineral salt. You can use regular kosher salt, whatever you have on hand, but I like to use sea salt. And then I'm going to add our pepper. Remember, this is steak au poivre, so you want to make sure you use some nice freshly cracked ground pepper. Get it all everywhere, and then we're gonna rub it in and say, hey, you're so beautiful. You're gonna be delicious. Talk to it. I like to talk to my food a little bit. Okay. All right, and then just gonna press it in, pack it in a little bit. Perfect. Now, these other seasonings, these are optional. I just think that these make the steak great. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic and herb. This one is a salt-free, so it has a mixture of garlic and different types of herbs. And I think it's got some citrus in there, some orange peel. That one's excellent. Cumin. So cumin is great with steak. Cumin is actually, it looks kind of like the earth, because it looks kind of brown in color. This is intense flavor, so you don't need that much. And what I like to do is put a little bit on the palm of my hand when I'm having something that I don't want to put too much of it. I put the seasoning in the palm of my hand, and then I season from my palm. I don't season from here, because then if I make a mistake, and it comes out too fast, then I'm like, you have to start all over again. Okay. Happy time, right? And then I'm gonna add a little bit of Goya. Now, I don't really like using this too much, especially because we already added salt at the beginning, but I just like the flavor, the combination of flavors that it gives. And this is pepper steak, so I want to make sure that this is really flavorful. This is how we're going to make our affordable steak kind of up the ante a bit. Okay, let's season both sides. Make sure you get the sides. You want to season the sides too. You're going to take whatever seasoning left on the pan on your cutting board, pick it up, And gonna make sure you get your side gets coated with some seasoning. Next side. So same thing, salt, pepper. Very good. And I've got some really nice aromatics to go with this. After we get our pan on the grill, I'm going to show you some of our mise en place that we worked on a little bit earlier. Part of a good chef's toolbook is assemble your mise en place in advance so you don't miss any ingredients or find out that you don't have anything. You set up your mise en place and you already know beforehand what you have. This one I was very generous with the garlic and herb seasoning. Really like that. Okay, make sure you get all the sides. Okay, and then you want to smell it too. You want to smell your food. Ooh, nice. Very nice. Nicely balanced seasoning. All right, let's transfer over to our pan. A little bit more. See if you put a little bit of water on there and then it's a little talking to you. Then I hear you. I'm talking to you too. Totally awesome. All right, so let's take our steak. You can hear that sizzle, right? That means I'm ready. She's ready. Okay. Get two steaks down. Many ways you can do this steak. You can make some eggs on the side. Make some mashed potatoes. Okay, so we're gonna let that sear on a medium heat. I don't want it too hot. I've got my mise en place over here. We'll talk a little bit about that. So first off, I've got some mushrooms. Now these are some baby bellas. They like to call them baby portobello mushrooms or cremini mushrooms. And I've already started to clean off my veg and cut them up. The way you want to clean your mushrooms is you're going to take this this stem off. You're going to just pop it off, right? And then I like to use this as like a pocket to hold it. So you can hold it right there. And now you don't want to put too much water on it, but you take a little bit of water on a kitchen towel and you're just going to wipe off any of the dirt that's on the mushroom. Mushrooms are high in protein, so if you don't eat meat, then you can make like a nice mushroom burger, high in protein, great for people who are working out. It's great for the blood, has a lot of nutrients. It's considered like a superfood. Mushrooms are fantastic. Very underrated aphrodisiac. Okay, so this is about clean. That's about clean. And then what you would do is you take the way you want to cut it is you want to take your hand into a claw, a safe way of cutting. And then you're going to claw your knuckles on the mushroom, right? And then you'll take your knife, make sure you're holding your knife right, palm of your hand. Your thumb goes right at the base of the knife, and then you're gonna thinly slice and then run your knife against the surface. Your knife never needs the surface. And then you've got some beautiful mushrooms. All right. So the rest of we're also going to use the onion for our pan gravy when we make our nice cream sauce. But for now, we're going to see how our steak is looking. Let's give it a turn. Okay. Yeah, it's coming along. I like my steak on the medium well side. Let me know how you like your steak. Do you like it medium with like a little sliver of red right in the middle? Do you like it well done? Me, I like it medium well because I don't want to cook out all the beautiful juice in the steak. All right. So I'm just gonna make sure this is seared on all sides. Coming along nicely. Now let's add a little bit of aromatics to our pan. So I like to get a nice grip on the pan, and I'm gonna stand it up. First, I'm gonna get them both in the same direction. Then I'm going to stand them up. Now talk to me. How you feeling today? I'm going to stand you up to be bold. Got those standing up on the side. And now this is a nice little time for make our little pan deliciousness. I got about 2 tablespoons of butter. You see our butter. And then we're going to hit it with a little bit of garlic. I got a little bit of minced garlic here. And then I've got some fresh herbs. So, got some beautiful rosemary. Leave that there. And I've got some thyme, sprigs, bang. I wish you had like smell-o-vision because it is smelling awesome in here. And my fat caps are searing right on the side. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to lay our steaks back down so it can continue to cook. Turn over again. And now here's the secret, the total secret of a beautifully glazed steak. We're going to baste the steak. So I'm going to bend it over, and all these pan gravies that are coming down, we're going to baste the steak with. All that deliciousness. And just continue to do that. Let it run over. As they continue to run down, you just keep basting. This is flavor right here. And you just talk to it like, hey, how are you feeling today? How's your week going? All right. I'm going to let that continue cooking because I want a medium well steak. And then we will let it rest. I'll put it to rest and we'll start with our pan gravy. All right, so we fast forward a bit. Take a look at our steak. Has a beautiful sear on it. We're going to put these over to lay down and rest. And I made sure that I had it on all sides. Let these rest. Good job. And I'm gonna cover it. It's very important to let your steak rest. Do not taste your steak. I didn't taste it. I smelled it. That is your guide, is your nose. Use your nose as your guide. Do not try to steal a bite because your juices will run in that. Now, this is all of the deliciousness that you need to make your pan sauce. This right here, this is called the fond. F-O-N-D. We're gonna deglaze our pan. We're gonna take a little bit of stock. I have some vegetable stock. You could use something else to deglaze the pan, but I want to keep it. No other flavors going on. So just take some vegetable stock. Deglaze the pan. Right? It's gonna pick up all those wonderful remains. And we're gonna add our veg. So first, let's do our mushrooms and our onion, or onions and mushrooms. I'm gonna leave some mushrooms behind for the plate for a little presentation. I also turned down my heat a little bit. I turned it down to low. So I'm gonna let my vegetables kind of get happy in that little fond that's on our pan. And let that sear for a minute. And our other ingredients we have today, we have some milk that we're gonna use to make our cream sauce. This is untraditional. I'm using a little bit of Parmesan cheese. That is very untraditional, but I like my steak a little bit cheesy, so we're gonna use a little bit of Parmesan cheese. And to make our sauce a little bit thicker, we're gonna add a little cornstarch. Now you can use flour, but cornstarch is really good for helping out making a nice little gravy. That's it. You don't need that much. About a teaspoon worth of cornstarch or flour, and then you're going to let that go with the fat that's in there. Remember, we still have like the remaining oils, the butter from the steak. So this is what's going to help thicken up the sauce. Like I said, we don't have that many ingredients. We have the steak, our beef round bottom steak, our aromatics. We use a little bit of thyme and rosemary, a little bit of butter, garlic, and then now we're adding a little fresh onion, about half an onion, our mushrooms, and a little bit of milk. Okay. Now this was Steak Au Poivre, so make sure we're gonna add a little bit of pepper to the party. Hit it with a little bit more salt. And we want this to come up to like a simmer. Once it comes up to a simmer, I'll add my cheese. Starts bubbling away. I'll add my little bit of Parmesan cheese, and then we will cut our steak. It needs to rest for at least 5 minutes, 10 minutes preferably. Cut our steak, and then we will serve it over top of our cream sauce. That's simmering. Time for the cheese. Okay, about a tablespoon of Parmigiano. Maybe a little more. And let's round it off with a little bit of butter. Let's give it a nice little viscosity, nice sheen. And steak is usually for special occasion. You know, in my cooking, steak is a special occasion, usually for anniversary or companies coming over, holidays, something like that. But this is very impressive. And we did it for under $10, so let's give it a try. Oh, before we give it a try, my last secret ingredient. Any sauce that I like to do, I add a little bit of cinnamon. So I'm making mac and cheese, any type of cream sauce I do, I add a little bit of cinnamon. So just gonna knead some cinnamon sticks together. You can break it and put it inside there. Let it get nice and happy with the party. You just remember to fish them out a little after. And then let's take a little bit of those fresh herbs to maximize flavor. You're gonna take your time, stand it up, run your fingers down, and some time. And then now let's give it a taste, because it thickened up pretty nicely. That's really good. It's really like earthy. I get that earthy flavor from that cumin that was on the steak, the mushrooms. It's very meaty, beefy sauce. So let's plate up. All right. So we have our steak. We're just gonna slice it on an angle. And this is our medium well. That's a medium well steak. Not like all the way too much. Got our chef's knife. And I'm cutting my steak about maybe a ½ inch thick. Just cutting here on the bias. Okay, now let's take our beautiful pan sauce. And you're just gonna lay it over top. This is Steak Au Poivre. It's got a creamy mushroom sauce. Okay, that's beautiful. That, my friends, is a $10 steak. So,
20.
I'm gonna give this a taste, guys. Let's see. All right, so let's give our steak a taste. It's still very juicy. Very juicy. We didn't cook it all the way down. And that buttery cream sauce, the mushrooms, it's really divine. You have to give this a try. So, signing out, my name is Chef P. Thank you for watching Cooking Etiquette Workshop, and see you next time. Cheers.